Everyone, I told you I would record a video tonight, so I'm doing so from home. I am with my youngest child. She's 12 years old. Her name is Kendall. And one of our dogs, his name's Achilles. He is a pit bull and a Shar-Pei mixed dog, but he acts like a big baby. So, what we have here is the space where you would upload reading response 1, or you should have already. I turned off edit mode so that you could see kind of more what it looks like on your end. When you go to the assignments folder, since I got several messages about uploading assignments, it's pretty straightforward. Down at the bottom, you have reading response 1, and when reading response 2 is due, that'll go in the folder as well. Here, it's the points possible, and you attach a file. It goes through Safe Assign, so you have to check that box, and then you hit Submit, which is over here. But what I wanted to talk to you first about is Project 1. Since many of you had questions about the interview and the interview questions, there's very clear description in the syllabus of what Project 1 is and what the interviews are for. And, Achilles, jeez, okay. You have to interview one professional in your field and in your discourse community, and then use that for Project 1. So there's samples of interview question ideas. So what's it like to work in the field? What is most surprising about the field? Has the field required you to change your persona, so your personality? How do you change your personality, basically, when you're in work? Has the field required you to change your views on knowledge or research? So how did you change the way you do research? What type of writing did you have to do in college? What type of research did you do in college? What genres do you read now in the workplace? What genres do you write in? Do you write a lot of memos? Do you do charts and graphs? Things like that. So those are sample questions that you can use, but that's what the interview is for. Since this seemed to be an issue, and even though I did describe it on the slides, we're going to go over the Project 1 description again. Okay. This is due in about 2 weeks, 12 days. It is a personal research guide, and that means a guide for you to utilize on your future research projects. So it's an opportunity for you to explore your discourse community, so your professional or disciplinary discourse community that you're joining, or the one that you intend to join. So you're going to be using primary research, which is the interview, and secondary research methods, which are articles and other things that you find, to explore the literacies of the discourse community by identifying significant genres, key experts, important publications, professional organizations, and conferences on the online presence of your discourse community, commonly employed research methods in the field, topics, trends from the past 5 to 10 years, and broad values of your discourse community. And these are things that you can ask me about in email, on our Slack channel. You can come into office hours on Thursday. I'll be in there tomorrow too. Just make sure to send me email, because I do have some meetings tomorrow, so just to make sure that I'm in the office. So the assignment prompt says that you are answering these questions. 750 word. It shouldn't be that hard to answer these questions. So what are the common public goals? The slideshow discuss what a common public goal is. How do members of the discourse community share ideas? Those are things that you'll get from your research and from your interviews. What kind of ideas and information do members of the discourse community share with each other? Also from interview and from the research that you're going to do. What genres does the discourse community use to accomplish its goals? That's more from research, but you can kind of get an idea from the interview. And then what are some key features or examples of the lexis of the discourse community? So that's mainly from the research that you're going to be doing. What are the parameters of membership in the discourse community? And you'll get that both from your interview and from your research. So here, this is where the interview comes in. Interview a professional or academic in the field. That's what the interview is for. You can talk to a WSU librarian. How you do that is you go to the UGL, the undergraduate library in the middle of campus, and you ask to speak to a librarian who works in your major. You can also make appointments with the librarian in your major by looking up your major on the library website. And I'll post another video about that when I'm in the office tomorrow, but I wanted to post a video tonight giving you a more thorough explanation. This page is the most important for your questions. This is why you need to read the syllabus thoroughly before you come asking questions, because you can find the answers to your questions in the syllabus. This project example or project description is in the syllabus as well as the other 4 project examples. So you are going to do this. You are going to analyze 6 characteristics of discourse communities as heuristics. So that means a way of viewing something, a way of viewing your discourse community. A definition of the discourse community in terms of its common public goals is understood by both the practicing member and the professional organizations associated with the specific discourse community. At least 3 major communicative practices, a list of prominent participatory mechanisms or venues where members publish, so they can be websites, journals, things like that, trade publications. A description of significant mechanisms of intercommunications or genre typically used by members of the discourse community to share, discuss, or critique new disciplinary information. This has to include specific examples, not just broad categories like articles or websites, or general statements like issues in medicine. Thus, for each genre, described, students should reference a specific example and briefly highlight the major issues or topics addressed by the specific mechanism under review. So that means that you need to provide a specific example of how this genre is used in publication. A contemporary major topics of conversation. These will mainly be found via your interview, and you can look around on the internet. 2 or 3 of your own research questions that you develop after doing some research in your interview. A bibliographic list of the pertinent resources you uncovered, even if uncited. So this means an annotated bibliography and an invention portfolio that shows how the project was composed over time. So, here you have this. Introduction to Discourse Communities. You did all these. You should have done all of these. Then we have conducting primary research. This is the next week that we're moving into, starting tomorrow. So you need to be reading Chapter 1 of the Wadsworth Guide, Chapter 4 of the Wadsworth Guide, but only pages 69 to 70, and all of Chapter 5 of the Wadsworth Guide. And then the interview question ideas document I just showed you. Then you are going to write a reading response number 2. You're going to submit it to the same place where you found the reading response number 1. Then you are going to submit a draft of the project where you discuss what you found regarding research, genre conventions, professionalism, and experiences, and questions and conduct during the interview. That's where you're going to submit to the Project 1 draft. And then a draft of web-based genre conventions and personal site. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow as well in a longer video, or maybe a series of 2 videos so I can show you what a website would look like. So that is it for now. Please make sure that if you have any questions about your interviews, any of the assignments that you didn't do, or any of the kind of syllabus related stuff, make sure that you read the syllabus first, and then you can contact me. If you are working on the draft, make sure to come and visit me in the office hours, or set up an appointment to talk to me on Skype, or contact me through the Slack channel. I hope you have a good rest of your night, and I will make another video tomorrow.